Manager doesn't like.
Thought she wasn't gonna watch it.
Herself came out to LA, came to the fight, but Crawford just walked by and said, "I thought you weren't going to watch it, but clearly your mind has changed."
Yeah, I came here to support.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford held their first informal press conference ahead of their September fight. The event made headlines when Jaron Ennis confronted and struck Crawford. Ennis said he feels betrayed because Crawford avoided fighting him for years and is now set to face Canelo Alvarez instead.
Gotta lean more towards Canelo because, like I said before, he been putting big guys out and down. And Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe. And he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200.
Their names are Shocker Stevenson and Keshin Davis. When it was time for Terence Crawford to leave the stage, Boots reportedly hit and pushed him. Jaron Ennis is said to be planning a move up to super welterweight or middleweight to try and set up a fight with Crawford after multiple failed attempts to face him at welterweight. The first press conference for the bout took place in Las Vegas, where the two fighters answered a few quick questions in front of a small crowd in a modest room. After that, they moved to the media room for their first photo session and interviews. Terence Crawford reacted strongly to Jaron Ennis' actions, saying it was ridiculous and completely unexpected. He said Ennis should have spoken to him directly instead of walking away and admitted he did not know what to say about the situation. Crawford made it clear he felt disrespected and angry, but also dismissed the idea of facing Ennis in the ring, saying Ennis is not on his level and not big enough to deserve that fight.
Dropping those guys like that, so I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it, so so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight, at like 60 or like at least at 60, just to get his body, the feeling of somebody a little bit bigger, and things like that. I know when you go up a weight, you gotta, develop that power and not develop the power, but like put that muscle on and be heavy and things like that. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build up right now. But I think he should, just to stay sharp and that way he don't have like a long layoff or anything like that.
Jaron Ennis has long wanted a fight with Terence Crawford, but will now have to watch as Crawford faces Canelo Alvarez instead. Ennis is a young boxer with plenty of potential and currently holds the welterweight IBF title. He has grown as a fighter since Crawford defeated Errol Spence in July 2023 to become the undisputed 147-pound champion.
Canelo's gonna run over the ring. What's your thoughts on that fight?
It's a good fight, 50-50 fight, and I guess it's a fight that everybody wants to see. So, it's a good fight.
Ennis' most recent fight, a 154-pound world title win over Israel Madrimov, seems to mark the end of his welterweight career. Crawford has long aimed to move up in weight to face the undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo. This week, the fight was officially set for September. Speaking with YSM Sports Media, Ennis did not pick a winner, giving Crawford the same chance as Canelo. He called it a fantastic matchup, a true 50-50 battle, and said it is exactly the kind of fight everyone wants to see.
How difficult is it to make that jump from, he only had one fight at 54, so like 147, 154 to 168 pounds.
You said how difficult is it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little difficult because you got to, what are you going to have to put on, like an extra 14 pounds? So he might be a little slower. Or who knows, he could be faster. I don't know. Like, it's just, you got to add more weight and gain more muscle and stuff like that. Moving up in weight and things like that. So it's a little harder, but I don't know. We'll see on fight night how he'll look.
He was then asked about Crawford's challenge of moving up in weight. He said it will be a bit difficult, noting that Crawford would need to gain about 14 pounds, which can slow him down. Adding weight and strength makes things harder, but he said we'll see what happens on fight night. When asked what Crawford needs to do to win, he advised being smart, taking his time, boxing, and staying on the move instead of standing still and taking Canelo power shots. Finally, he outlined what he thinks Canelo's plan for winning would be.
What does Terence Crawford have to do to be successful in that fight?
Be smart. Take his time, box and move. Yeah, don't sit there and let him try to bomb on him.
What about Canelo Alvarez?
I feel like Canelo had to had to press him, everything behind the stick, and catch him, try and pull back, anything,
He believes Canelo will be aggressive from the start, controlling the pace, cutting off the ring, and forcing Crawford to fight his way. Canelo will try to dominate the smaller fighter and not let him dictate anything. One of boxing's most promising rising stars, who won his fight against Stannis last month, took time during the build-up to share his thoughts on the Canelo versus Crawford hype. In a recent interview with Fight Hub TV, he voiced concern about Crawford moving up 2 full weight classes. He suggested Crawford should have a warm-up fight at 160 pounds to get used to facing a bigger opponent.
Is it one of those situations where you try to punch on like the smaller man's like arms?
You don't have to bully him. You don't have to bully the smaller guy. Don't let him dictate nothing. Show him that's your weight class.
When discussing Crawford opponents, Boots is blunt. He points out that Canelo has been at this weight for a while and has knocked out bigger fighters. Crawford is smaller, while Canelo has faced and hurt opponents weighing around 200 pounds on fight night. Alvarez may not be a natural super middleweight, but he has a proven track record of damaging and stopping fighters much bigger than Crawford. Those who know the sport understand the significance of this.
You brought up, and this is just a follow-up on here, you brought up one main point that a lot of fans have been bringing up. It was like, what happens when Canelo hits him? Because he's been hurting, like you mentioned, bigger guys.
Yeah.
Crawford hasn't been fighting guys that are 200 pounds, 190 pounds on fight night.
Yeah, right. And I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight, at like 60 or like at least at 60, just to get his body.
Crawford has said that he currently weighs 186 pounds, well above the 168-pound super middleweight limit, despite previously winning titles as low as lightweight at 135 pounds. Still, Boots has predicted Crawford will lose. While Ennis and many other boxing experts believe Canelo will win, Jaron Ennis and his father, Busis Ennis, have now shared their own thoughts on the fight, including Canelo's most recent performance against William Skell. On May 3rd, Alvarez defeated Skell by unanimous decision in a high-profile bout. Ennis believes Canelo gets frustrated when an opponent moves too close in front of him. He told YSM Sports Media,
You told me that Terence Crawford and Canelo was a 50-50 fight. You told me Terence Crawford had a chance.
Right.
Me, I was leaning towards Canelo because of the size.
Right.
I want to apologize.
Yeah.
Because after watching that fight, I see what you were talking about.
Yeah, I'll tell you, movement. That movement all sets everybody, man. And what would have... With Canelo, he get frustrated. You see, he's walking to you and all that. If he can't touch you, you know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean?
Now, did watching that make you feel like Terence Crawford has better than a 50% chance after watching? I know
he said that with Canelo. He gets upset when he can't touch you. You know what I mean? When asked about Terence Crawford's chances against Alvarez, he replied, "Great chance because Terence can box and move. Terence can hit. He's not going to stand there like Skell. He'll fight you. He's Terence from the streets and knows what to do when the chips are down. I think he'll end up irritating Canelo." He added that the right way to face Alvarez is to box him first, then strike when Canelo sets himself. He mentioned using the center of the ring to control the fight and said that if Canelo lets his guard down, he could be knocked out. "I believe Terence will execute his plan. Terence could even stop him," he concluded.
Laura, back in the day, but now this is supposed to be a new and improved Canelo.
Yeah. I think, like I said, Terence got a great chance to beat him, man. You know what I mean? Terence can box, Terence can move, Terence can punch. You know what I mean? Terence ain't gonna be doing like Skull. Terence gonna fight you. You know what I mean? He's Terence from the streets, man. You know what I mean? He know what to do. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, I think he's gonna wind up frustrating Canelo. You know what I mean?
Reminded that Canelo Alvarez has a granite chin and has never been stopped by Terence Crawford, Jaron Ennis replied that while Canelo has faced many great punchers, a punch has to land correctly to have an effect. He noted that few opponents have targeted Canelo's body the way Crawford might, which could force Alvarez to lower his guard and create a chance for a knockout. Meanwhile, talks about Jaron Ennis facing Teofimo Lopez have also surfaced. Eddie Hearn told Hype.com that negotiations are ongoing for Ennis to fight Lopez. However, the discussions haven't been smooth, with Lopez accusing Ennis of avoiding the matchup.
You beat Boots by unanimous decision. Yeah, I'm a dog him. For sure. I'm a dog that boy. They never face a fighter like me. No more backflips, protect your knees.
Jaron Ennis reacted confidently after his win over Boots, saying, "Yeah, I beat him by unanimous decision. I'm a dog for sure. They've never faced someone like me. No more backflips, protect your knees." In a message directed at Ennis and his father, Teofimo Lopez called out Boots, saying, "If you and your dad are listening, how can you claim to be from Philadelphia but refuse to fight the best man? You're putting Philly down. Philly just won. Congrats to the Eagles for getting the chip. Come on, bro. Any questions? There's no Boots fight." The idea of Lopez moving up to welterweight has been discussed before, with Turki Alalik expressing optimism about a possible matchup. Ennis has also stated his goal of winning the remaining welterweight titles, currently held by Mario Barrios and Brian Castano Jr.
If you're on here and your father's on here, Bozy, listen to me. You bozos. How you claim yourself from Philly and you don't want to fight the best? Man, y'all putting Philly down and Philly just won. Shout out to Philadelphia Eagles for winning the chip. Come on, bro. I don't think you from Philly. Any questions? Yeah, no Boots fight then. No Boots fight. They said no.
Fight with Barrios is off the table, as he is set to face 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao on July 19th. Meanwhile, tensions between Team Ennis and Team Norman continue after previous negotiations fell apart. A matchup between Teofimo Lopez and Jaron Ennis would be exciting, as both fighters showed their skills in their last bouts. Ennis impressed in his win over Astanis, showcasing excellent footwork, precise punching, and fight-ending power, all abilities he has consistently proven in the ring.
Teofimo Lopez has mentioned that a potential fight with you and him maybe down the road. I think Turkey's even said that. Just overall, your thoughts on that, Jaron?
Like I said before, I'm not worried about nobody else outside of my Astanis. I'm locked in on him. I'm just locked in on him. I'm zoned in on staying on this. I'm here to collect belts at 147 and show out. And that's what I'm going to do.
Lopez has shown that he rises to the occasion in big fights, as seen in his impressive wins over Vasily Lomachenko and Josh Taylor. In his most recent victory against Arnold Barboza Jr., he once again displayed the crisp, precise work that had been missing in some of his previous bouts. It's well known that he struggles to make the 147-pound limit, and there had been talk of moving up to junior middleweight before his fight with Barboza. He stayed at welterweight to try to add more belts to his collection. However, even after unifying the division against Barboza, it seems unlikely he will win a third 147-pound belt anytime soon.
I figured it being so close to the fight too as well. You're kind of like tunnel vision when it comes to your opponent. And the only reason why I ask is because, Turkey had mentioned that if Teo gets past Barboza, we could see a fight with you and Teofimo. I know Top Rank try to make that fight as well. So I was just curious now, like, what do you think of Teofimo as a fighter?
Yeah, good fighter. Good fighter. That's about it.
Brian Castano Jr., the WBO champion, is set to face Gene Sasaki, while Mario Barrios will take on 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao. There has been talk of challenging WBO junior welterweight champion Teofimo Lopez, but Eddie Hearn questioned whether it would make sense for Barrios to try making the 147-pound limit again. Hearn told Boxing Scene that Barrios gave a strong performance against Steiney, even if the numbers weren't outstanding, and added that Barrios will likely perform much better at 154 pounds. Barrios had intended to stay at welterweight to unify titles, and he achieved that goal. Hearn said it's a tough choice. The Lopez fight would be appealing if Barrios remains at 147, but if he moves up to 154, he would likely face Brian Castano Jr. in July in Japan, with Barrios facing Pacquiao separately. The unifications just aren't lining up at the lower weight.
That's about it?
Yeah, he a good fighter. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to add or anything like that.
No. I say he a good fighter. That's about it.
Okay. Brian Norman Jr. got a knockout win. I know you guys tried to make a fight previously. He had mentioned in a group huddle with us that he just didn't like being cornered in his opinion, when it came to that fight. Just, you know what happened.
He added, Barrios is a bit of a one-off. I'd say he's not just driven by money. Of course he wants it, but he's focused on legacy. He's willing to do whatever it takes to make 147 for unification. The Teofimo fight is a bit different, but it's a big matchup, so a decision needs to be made soon. Hearn explained that Barrios hired a nutritionist and an assistant to help him gain weight more efficiently for his fight with Steiny. On fight night, Barrios looked much bigger than Steiny and dominated the bout. However, Hearn admitted that making weight was still challenging. It wasn't as brutal as the Chikazian fight, but a lot of people noticed during the week how tight he looked at 147. He wasn't dead on the scale for Steiny. Not at all, but it's a huge strain to keep pulling himself down to 147.
Fight, Jaron, just give us your perspective on that and him saying those comments.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know what you're talking about. I've been so locked in and zoned in on what I got going on. I ain't been worrying about nobody else doing nothing. Like, I just been going to the gym, training, locking in books and things like that, even coloring a little bit. I'm just so focused on what I got going on. I really ain't been on social media. I post whatever I post.
And it's not just about making weight or doing your best, Hearn said. Even in the Steiny fight, that wasn't his absolute best or most powerful version of himself, which is incredible. But at 154 pounds, you're going to see a fighter with even more power. He already has it at 147, but it grows at higher weights. Regarding Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, Alvarez's former opponent Caleb Plant shared his thoughts on Crawford's chances as Crawford attempts a significant jump to 168 pounds. Plant, who lost to Canelo via an 11th round TKO in 2021, acknowledged that weight classes exist for a reason, but emphasized Crawford is not a typical boxer. Terence is unique. Canelo is a top-tier, world-class fighter, still near the top of the pound-for-pound list. Terence is ruthlessly strong, with exceptional mental grit and strength. He can't be underestimated once he's determined to reach his goal. Plant told Ariel Helwani before his own fight against Jose Armando Renz. Plant added that both fighters have clear advantages, which makes the matchup exciting. This fight will be fan-friendly. Neither Canelo nor Crawford will just circle the ring for 12 rounds. That's not in their blood. Fans should expect action. Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have a combined 108 professional fights, including 70 knockouts, and are both four-division world champions. Crawford holds titles at 140 and 147 pounds, while Canelo is a two-time undisputed super middleweight champion. Crawford relies on his instincts and skill to punish opponents, while Alvarez brings power, precise body shots, and head movement. Overall, this promises to be a fight fans won't want to miss.
Canelo over the weekend, did that look like the same type of Canelo you fought a few years ago? And yeah, what'd you think of that?
No, I don't think it's the same Canelo. Not quite, but also I kind of figured it was going to be like that, honestly. I heard Canelo say in the interview, like, I don't really like fighting guys who move around that much like that. And William Skull being a Cuban fighter, like, I knew he was going to do that. And so was curious to see, how Canelo would handle that.
Terence Crawford will move up 2 weight classes to face Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed super middleweight championship on September 13th in Las Vegas, with the exact venue still to be confirmed. Canelo previously defeated Jamal Charlo's twin, on points in September 2023. The Texan believes that some fighters lack the drive to truly win. Crawford is taking on Canelo at 168 pounds, even though he doesn't naturally weigh that much, he told reporters on Thursday. Crawford should stay focused and keep an eye on his strategy, he said. I like Crawford, but I favor Canelo in this fight because he maintains his size advantage. My brother even admitted that when he gained weight, he had to bulk up to beat Canelo. and it slowed him down. It affected his speed and reactions. Motivation is key. Money is great, but I don't expect Crawford to be exactly the same fighter who defeated Juku's Gamboa. Stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel for the latest news, events, and updates in boxing, and turn on notifications to catch our newest content. Until next time,